Wow, last week, I'm going to be saying goodbye to some of you guys, huh?
Taking my Keurig.
No, don't do that. I use it every day.
Do you really? No, you can give it
I'm the cafe right there.
in. Might need that for summer school.
It's okay. I'll bring in my 2.0 Keurig.
Okay.
Whoa.
Where are you going to put your Keurig? Down there? You're just going to have to come visit it here. Okay, so we're going to talk about propeller systems. Now, the thing I like about this picture right here, notice that the propellers just happen to be in the exact same spot, right and left. Coincidence? I think not. It's synchrophasers. So it was actually set that way inside the cockpit so that they're in the exact same spot. So we'll be looking at that. So, what kind of plane is that?
King Air 360.
Wow, look at this guy, King Air 360. I was just going to say a twin engine. I don't know. All right, so systems we're going to talk about are like synchronizers, synchrophasers, and a little bit of automatic controls and some ICE stuff. So should be a quick week, hopefully.
What do you mean should be? It's going to be.
It's like 2 days.
We don't know. I'm just as excited to see how this ends up as you do. Will it work or will it not? Let's see. Well, I've already wasted half the day telling you a story about something.
Wait, I don't remember it.
All right, so let's talk about the first thing is a propeller synchronizer. Propeller Synchronizer, Synchronizzer. Propeller Synchronizer. All right, remember I showed you that little video earlier about this little thing right there.
Oh, that little guy?
Yeah, that little guy right there. And remember what it did?
That told you which engine was faster.
Okay, it told you which engine was faster. So if it's rotating around this way, which engine is faster? And if it's going the other way? Right. Okay, so we have this little thing. We have a prop syn here, prop synchronizer. And if it's on, this should be steady. Well, how's it going to do that? Well, there's a little pin that just comes in here and just stops that. Ink right there. All right, so what we have is a control system. I'll make this big. I know, I could tell just by the way you had your hand raised and were ready to tell me how it works. All right, so basically what we have is a master governor and a slave governor. So the master governor is the one that's going to have to be matched to. The slave one is the one that's going to be doing the changing. So we have a control box with an actuator and a flex shaft. So what happens is, so you have the magnetic pickup over here is going to tell exactly, well, it's got to have it on both sides. You have to know how fast this one's going and how fast this engine's going. Send it to a control box and it says, whoa, wait a minute. This one over here on the left is turning a little bit faster. So it's going to send a signal out here, which is going to turn a shaft, which is going to adjust the arm on here. And it's going, if this one's going faster, it's going to make the propeller flatten out or increase pitch. This one's moving faster. This one's moving slower. This one has to decrease the pitch. You're thinking, oh, not again. It's got to decrease the pitch. It's going to decrease the pitch a little bit, and that's what it's going to do. So it can work within a particular range. Really isn't something where you can just set this one up to 2,500 RPM and idle this one and hit the prop sync and watch it, go up. It's got a limited range to it. Anyway, that's really all that's going to do. So, yeah.
So you have a master side, right, that controls the other side?
That's what it says. Yep. Well, no, that doesn't control the other side, so to speak. It's there's no control of this one.
So
It senses this one and moves this one.
So that's what's setting it. The other one's following.
Yeah, zero reference. I like that. So here's your zero reference. This is the one that's going to move. Got it? Good. I think I had a video where I actually had to do it at home. All right, so propeller synchronizer. A synchronizer system. matches either engine speed or propeller speed. Matches, well, it's pretty much the same, but matches either engine speed or prop speed. Well, as identically as possible. As ID. Why would I want to do that? Well, this reduces noise from harmonics. If we get the SkyMaster, you can't really do it, but the 310, you really notice it. It doesn't have this, and so if the chair would work. So, do we get that fixed? Almost, yes. So, Hannah is sitting on the left side. Bless her heart, but she reaches the pedals. The yoke's like this. So I got my feet on the brakes and bringing up the throttles, and the chair breaks, and I went into it. Tyler's lap back. Were you in? Yeah, Tyler's lap in the back. I'm no longer touching the brakes, and we're taking off.
I thought we were going to get sucked into the other plate on the runway.
We're a long way from the runway. We're on the ramp, and yes, there was a C-130 that just pulled in. Yes.
We had a 310. This is a
C-130.
I know, the 310 is much bigger. All right, noise, so reduces noise from harmonics. One problem with this would be I probably would not want to use this on takeoff. Why not?
because it's power.
You want them both to be at their max even if it's not the same.
Okay, I like that. I want to both be at the max. It's not the same. What if the master engine decided to quit?
Yeah.
I guess.
So here's your slave engine. Oh, we're stopping now? All right, bad time for that. So, not used on takeoff.
That might save some people sometimes.
Well, I could write this. If one engine quits, you don't want the other to follow.
But I mean, how drastically would it work? Because you said earlier on it only really works in the range. So if one drops completely out of RPM range, the other would
I don't know. I don't fly a plane like this, and as a mechanic, I don't test how fast it. I don't know.
But if the slave engine was to drop,
That's the problem. Oh, if the slave engine would just die out,
master would just-
master wouldn't follow. Well, that's you have a 50-50 chance of not having a problem then.
I like those off.
So I don't know how fast it is. All right. So one engine will be the master. We'll say master engine. And the other
Expert.
is the slave engine. In a twin, the left, which is number one, is usually the master. Left, that's number one. It's twin. And two, the slave engine has the ability to adjust RPM within a small range. Especially this type because it's mechanically driven. So within a small range, that'll be plus or minus 50 RPM. So for a total, what's the total? 100 RPM. Okay, what if you have more than 2 engines? Thankfully, well, we don't have to get into it. It's the thankfully part. On larger multi-engines, you actually have master throttles, master engines. You can actually adjust one engine to adjust the others. It gets very complicated, beyond the scope of what I know and what you need to know. So, yay for that.
And is this just props, or does it work for turbines as well?
Yeah, turbines as well. You mean?
As in,
Oh.
like a turbofan?
Oh. I've never flown one. Nor have I worked on one to that extent. I don't remember. Worked on citations. I don't remember having anything like that. No. Okay. Equipment installed. Oops, P. Gosh, I don't think so, Dennis. Equipment installed on each engine measures the exact propeller RPM. And sends the signal to a control box. The sensing unit can be a tach generator. So what's a tach generator? Yeah. So when you get into some of the older, like a Cessna, single engine Cessna, or the way you guys set up the 290, it has a tachometer on it, right? How does the tachometer work on that particular on our test stand?
Oh, you said electronic.
No.
The 337?
No, the test stand
Oh.
It has a little.
That's cable.
has a cable that actually spins.
Right.
So you could take and hook it on the end of a drill if you wanted, and hook that to the tachometer and squeeze a drill and make. So it's just this little drive on the back of the accessory pad that's turning, and so you have a flexible cable inside a housing that goes to a tachometer and it spins. Well, think about doing that with even something like the 310 or the Skymaster. Think about the Skymaster. Hey, I want tach information in front of me for that rear engine, so I got to get a cable that starts at the rear engine, goes up, over the overhead, back in a nice loop and around, and that thing's spinning around all the time. Would I want to do that? Or even the 310s. I got an engine out there, I got to run it through the nacelle, through the firewall, down the leading edge of the wing, up to the cabin, around the doorpost, up and in. Nah, I probably don't want that. So aircraft like that, they don't use a mechanical cable. They use a tach generator, and a tach generator can really be nothing more than just a little generator that the faster you spin it, the more volts it produces. Or you can do it with phase. The faster you spin it, the faster you're going to have a phase. Phase is the word I want. Frequency. Frequency is the word I wanted to use. Thank you. And so then you just have a tachometer that either is reading in voltage or frequency. But it doesn't say that. It actually has RPM. So sensing unit can be a tach generator, something like that, or magnetic pickups on the governor. And let's see, you guys haven't really had electricity. Well, who's had electricity? This side of the room. This side has not. You're on the wrong side. So, throws me off. So when you get into magnetos, which these guys have already forgotten, and you run your magneto on our magneto test stand, we have a little RPM thing, right? Do you remember how that worked?
Magnetic field going in and out.
Yeah, well, okay, so it's somebody, and it had a mechanical on it, and somebody added one, and it had this little what little thing about yay big, kind of pointed it, and somebody put a little piece of flashy tape on it, and I thought, that must be some sort of optical thing. And man, I polished it, and the flashlight on there, and I couldn't make it work. And finally I thought, what if it's magnetic? So I got some rare earth magnets, and I clamped them on there, and hey, look, it works. So just a magnet, every time a magnet goes by, it senses the magnet going by, and turns that into RPM. So, all right. So you got that. Then we need a comparison unit. So we have the master governor, the slave governor with the control. We have to have sense RPM. We take the RPM, we send it to a comparison unit. And the comparison unit is going to receive the signal from the speed sensing unit. Receives the signal from the speed sensing unit. And the speed sensing unit was what? Tach generator. Well, we could say this. So voltage from tach gen. Or frequency from a frequency generator. See, now that I'm talking about this, aren't you guys glad that you don't have to have electricity next semester? And aren't you guys freaked out?
I like it.
As we will be talking about the turbo encabulator.
Which you have everything written down for you.
That's right. All right, let's see. The comparison unit. The comparison unit will adjust the slave engine to match the master. The comparison unit will adjust the slave engine to match the master engine. And this may be done with a control linkage that is parallel to the cockpit control. May be done with linkage that is parallel to the cockpit control. Which means that you have your cockpit control connected to the arm on the governor, and the other one's going to parallel right in. So if it starts pulling back on the governor, guess what you're going to see inside the cockpit? Ghost. So if this starts pulling back, the cockpit control is connected, it's going to start pulling the cockpit control lever back. You'll see it move. Whoa, look at that. But 50 RPM, you're not going to see it move very much. It's a really tiny little bit. All right, then we talked about the indicator. One. I know it's hot in here, and I know you left that open the other day. Wheel.
Why?
Somebody, I don't know. Let's see. Indicator and indicator. Wheel.
Can you just open the door for a minute? Please?
Can you wait 1 minute? 1 minute.
Thanks.
an indicator wheel to show an out of sync, SY, and sync condition. And I won't even try and draw it. You should come up and draw stuff for me. Indicator will rotate. Will rotate. Which way?
Towards the faster.
Very good. Toward the faster engine. And if indicator is not moving, engines are in sync. All right, now it is break time.